other. He's really a backup. He's Darren Williams' backup. Maybe he shouldn't be, but he is. Darren Williams' backup. Serving Jeff Teague. Right? Then this series. John Wall hurts himself and breaks his hand and wrist. So you think, oh yeah, Ramon Sessions, come get you some. Yeah, he's gotten some, all right. Yeah, he didn't play well last game. But before that, yeah, he was getting in Teague's butt again. It's like Jeff Teague he's got to run his team, man. People want to talk about this whole San Antonio East situation. Yeah, I'm good. Because I don't see Tony Parker out there. I don't see Tim Duncan. And well, let me stick to the point guard situation, because here's the thing: Avery Johnson, he wasn't Tony Parker either, but he ran the ball club. The whole little general situation, it was real. Because he ran the ball club. Jeff Teague is playing so meek and timidly. It's like every now and then you see a little spark of emotion, but other than that, it's like he's not giving the Atlanta Hawks what they need in particular to be able to beat this team. A team in the Washington Wizards who have some kind of way of not being able to shoot the three ball have found their three ball. Meanwhile, got guys like Kyle Korver. Got up like three threes, or maybe been three shots all game. Now, Bradley Beal's doing a good job against him, but I think it's still, in order for me and Kyle Korver to do what he does, Jeff Teague he's got to be the head of the snake, man. He's got to direct his team in the way that he wants them to go. And what you're seeing, to me, is the de-evolution. Is that what I'm looking for? Well, whatever the opposite of evolution is, he's devolving, is what I'm saying. He's devolving as an NBA point guard. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that it's happening now. For all the people who told me or tried to tell me on Twitter that, it's the NBA, style points don't matter. Yeah, miss me, man. What's about to happen to me, and this is all I care about, what's going to happen to me personally, is all that junk I was talking about Charles Barkley and his theory that jump shooting teams can't win championships. Y'all about to prove them right. Damn it. Not only the Hawks, not just them. By the way, when I started the segment, I was talking about everyone gets a buzzer beater. There was a buzzer beater in this game too. Paul Pierce threw a rocket at the square. Even when you was a kid, that's what they told you: hit the square every time, even on jump shots. Hit the square. And he did that. He hit the square over Dennis Schroeder, who later on said that was a lucky shot. Here's the thing, Dennis. I don't know how they do it in Germany, but they count all the same here. The lucky ones count for two and can win people ball games as well. So that happened. And there was like a mini controversy at the end of this game. Zach Klein of WSB TV was wondering why DeMarre Carroll, who was in on the previous defensive possession, was not in the ball game for the final possession of the game. He asked DeMarre about that, and DeMarre actually he hinted to it being some sort of here's the quote, by the way. He told Zach Klein of WSB Channel 2 that he did not feel, quote, comfortable as far as physically, end quote. Well, when you do that, you know what's going to happen next. Yeah, the next day we got to find out what's going on. So they did a Q&A with he and then with Bud. Let me make sure I got enough time to get this out of the way, because I want to get the rest of the games in as well. But this game is actually going on. Game, whatever it is, 4 of the series is going on right now as I speak. But I still want to get this cleared up. The first question was, what happened last night to DeMarre Carroll? Was what happened last night, and are you good to go tomorrow? His answer is, I'm good. That was a tough game for us, but by the same token, to clarify, what went on last night was me and Coach discussed the situation. We discussed that was the best group at the time because they had come all the way back. Due to that, I hadn't played for a quarter and a half, and we felt that was the best group to give us a shot to get that stop. Now, see, that's gonna speak, man. That's gonna speak loudly to the critics of Coach Bud, being Coach of the Year and all this kind of stuff. there have been detractors to that. The fact that your best defender, your best on-ball defender, in DeMarre Carroll, I don't care if he ain't played for a quarter. We need one play, my man. We need one play to push this thing to overtime. And the fact that you got, like, you heard Paul Pierce talk about it after the game. He had a small guy on him, Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder. I'm saying like that because on my previous show, the show that was in between the Sports Kings radio show and the Sports Kings podcast now, the show I produced, a guy called in and gave us the proper pronunciation of Schroeder, whatever. So the next question, because someone's doing their job, were you physically uncomfortable? What was it? What was it? Like I said, I talked to Coach. We discussed this in the answer. Like I said, I talked to Coach. We discussed it. That was the best group at the time due to I hadn't played for a quarter and a half. That's what we felt. Question. But you did go in the previous possession defensively. Oh, boy. His answer. I went in for a second, and then when I came out, we discussed, and we felt that was the best situation. He's giving a lot of company lines here. I know a lot of people are going to say a lot of things because I'm supposed to be the top defender on the team, but I guess you can talk to Coach and he'll answer the rest of the questions. We did discuss it, and we felt that was the best group. By the way, DeMarre Carroll is going to be I think he's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. So, yeah, he's just throwing old Coach Bud right up under that bus. The last question for him was, if you had to do it again, would you try to stress harder that you wanted to be on the floor? He says, answer, no comment. Yeah. And then here comes Bud, who basically will give you nothing. But the question is, DeMarre, in the end of game situation, said he was physically unable to go. He said moments ago, you two talked about it. What happened last night? It's like that. It's like all throughout the game, there is a dialogue. The group that was on the court, we felt, gave us the best chance to get a stop. You consider everything in listening and talking, that's the group we went with. Next question, is he physically okay? Answer, he's fine. Question again, did you put him on the bench or did he ask out? Answer, we made a decision. Question, what was different about that because he was on the floor the previous defensive possession? Answer, considering he didn't play the whole fourth quarter, I think he went in for possession. And again, there is a timeout. You talk, you discuss, and you have to make a decision. I think sometimes we take players out of the game who don't want to come out, and sometimes we probably put players in the game that don't want to go in. Ooh, God. Coaches have to make decisions. It happens every night, every time. Man. Did he want to come out? Is the next question. The next answer is we went with the group that gave us the best chance to get a stop. That's the decision, obviously. Paul Pierce made a heck of a shot, a tough shot, but we always go with the group we feel gives us the best chance. Yeah, man, that's tough, man. Like, this isn't something that this team has dealt with this year. Not only the adversity that they're in now, they have to win this game. The stats are something like 96% of game or teams that go up 3-1 end up closing out the series, end up winning the series. So it's very important that the Hawks, win this series if they plan on, or win this game, this game 4, if they plan on winning this series. All right, the next game on Saturday, as we move forward here, try to get through all of these, if I possibly can, though. The Warriors and the Grizzlies. Oh, my God. The mixtape is broken. Steph Curry, the human mixtape is broken. Somebody needs to splice it back together and try to get it back, get the reels working again. They only shot 23% from 3, and they turned the ball over 17 times. Steph himself, 8 of 21, 23 points. That's not going to get it done. That Tony Allen and that Mike Conley combo in the backcourt is something serious. Not to mention Zebo and Gasol. Here's the thing. Like, you start off with Draymond at 6'6", guarding Marc Gasol because you feel like he's some sort of perimeter guy. Yeah, he's smarter than that. He's smarter than the average bear. He's like, all right, little guy, I'm just going to turn my back on you, and by the time it's done, you're going to be under the rim, and my hands will be in it. And that's essentially what was going on. Tony Allen got them cuffs on Klay, man. Klay Thompson. It's something serious. That dude is really offended by not making defensive what is it? Defensive first team, all NBA defensive first team. He's really offended by that, and he's taking it out on that kid, on Klay Thompson. They've got to do better. I heard a lot of people talking about the Warriors rushing shots and all this kind of stuff. Well, when you talk about Steph, he shoots the ball quickly anyway, and at some very, very obscure positions. You know what I mean? And it's cool, and they make the Sports Center top 10 when he's hitting them. But then people want to talk about he's shooting too quick. And maybe he is feeling rushed. Maybe the Mike Conley thing is, because Mike Conley's a scrappy dude, man. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player. People want to, he's the most underrated guy. I don't know how you quantify that, but he's a very, very good NFL point guard, man. And it's something I've been talking about for the last few weeks. These playoffs are gonna illuminate some people, either in a good way or a bad way. You don't get to see like with Antetokounmpo. You got to see a lot of his flaws, man, because people hear from a distance, the Greek freak, this kid, man, he's so long and lanky and athletic. But then you see him in the playoffs against the Bulls. He can't hit the side of a barn with that jump shot. But it's something he's got to work on. He's a young kid. He's 20 years old or something like that. You got to work on it. But then you get the other side of that spectrum, guys like Mike Conley, who is like, man, this Memphis team ain't the most exciting thing, but they got some players. They got some dudes that's coming to play some basketball. Which is another reason I'm kind of, I'm disappointed, not for myself, man, because I know how good John Wall is, but for the people who don't really know how much he's improved this year, for him to be out for him not to be able to participate on this big stage, it's disappointing for basketball fans, man. The casual ones, I mean, you don't get a chance to see him do his thing. What was I saying? Oh, I'm talking about the Warriors and the Grizzlies, who, by the way, the Warriors are down in the series 1-2. They lost game 3, 88-99. Now, they kept trying, like in true Warrior fashion, they kept trying to make runs, but Memphis wasn't having none of it. Every time they made one, Memphis came back and ran another and made another one. I talked about Zebo, Zach Randolph, and Marc Gasol. Yeah, in game 3, it was real simple. 43 points combined, 23 rebounds. This is 43 out of the total 99 that they scored. Yeah, that's inside dominance, man. And people are saying, they're playing old school, playing inside out. Yeah, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen later on tonight. I'm recording this is about 9 o'clock Central Time, give or take. But the narrative will totally change tomorrow if the two guys who we expect to make shots. Maybe, what's the kid's name? David Lee. Maybe he gets some run, against some of those big guys down low. Spaeth is hurt, from my understanding. He has some sort of injury, so I'm not sure if he's going to play tonight. But they got to combat what Memphis is doing with some size of their own. Whatever size they got over there on that bench, they've got to present it. You know what I mean? In some way, they've got to present it in order to tie this series up. Because, again, 3-1 ain't nowhere nobody wants to be. All right. Now, game 1 yesterday, Cavs and Bulls. Quite a series, man. Quite a series. Not the prettiest basketball being played, but you're seeing dudes gut stuff out. Derrick Rose, I saw him take a charge yesterday against LeBron, and it goes back to what I said last week. Stop acting like this dude is going to tear like a piece of wet tissue paper every time he gets hit or touched. Because obviously the way he's playing ball, he's not worrying about it. He's trying to get him a championship and get a championship back to his hometown of Chicago. We find out Kyrie is laboring. Kyrie Irving's laboring a little bit with a foot. Now, tonight, or not tonight, tomorrow, you'll find out, or actually you probably found out already, he's got a little bit of knee tendonitis as well, and that's something that I've suffered with in college as a player, and that ain't no joke. Like, we played, like, it wasn't no field turf like it is now that's engineered to, like, be absorbent. No, it was like, basically, what we played on, the turf we played on was like spray painted concrete, might as well have been. You know what I mean? It was like that. And these dudes doing all this running and jumping on this basketball court, man, I know how painful and uncomfortable that can be, even with the anti-inflammatories like the Aleve and all this kind of stuff they give you for it. it still is very uncomfortable and painful.